What is up, guys? Media Master Menard here today, and welcome back to your one-stop shop for all forms of media content. And I've really been thinking lately, with the PS5 and Xbox Series X coming out soon in this November, I think now would be as good a time as any to look at the 8th console generation and talk about my top 5 games. And really, all of these games on this list were life-changing to me. They really changed the way I think about video games or what was possible in video games, or just at the time they just affected the way I thought in general and the way I think about life and my outlook on life. So I wanted to get into this video and talk to you guys about that. But before we get into that, if you guys do end up liking this video, make sure you guys click that like button down below and subscribe to the channel. As I looked back, I honestly realized how many memories and meaningful experiences I had with so many games of this generation, and it made it a lot harder to do this list, and I deliberated on a lot of choices longer than I thought I would, and I feel like I'm betraying some of my favorite games by not including them on this list. Nevertheless, these games that you're about to hear were able to set themselves apart from the other games of this generation and claim a spot on this list. Recently, when I told one of my buddies that The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild was one of the best games that I had ever played, he asked me, well, what made it so great? And honestly, I didn't have a good answer for him. I knew that it was one of the best, but I didn't really know what made it so special. After thinking about it for a little bit, I do have the answer to that question now. I now describe the Breath of the Wild experience as organic. I mean, from the way you explore the world to the way you feel yourself finding the most effective tactics in combat, everything feels natural. You can quite literally go about the game in any way you wish, and the game actually encourages you to do that. I have not seen a sandbox open world game this masterfully crafted before or since. Out of all of the games on this list, I think the one that I saw coming the least before I played it was Nier Automata. At first glance, this game definitely looks like a very generic Japanese tropey game, but Nier Automata manages to be much more than that, and it tackles deep, and I mean deep, questions in ways that are more profound and mature than any game has to date. I'm just gonna come out here and say it, the ending to this game is the most moving experience I've had in a video game ever, so I have to tip my cap to Yoko Taro for his storytelling genius. On top of that, the battle system is silky smooth and action-packed thanks to Platinum Games, and I really love how they managed to get a different feel from the Bayonetta games, which is also from Platinum. I really think a lot of people who are off-put by Japanese games would really be left speechless by Nier Automata. I remember the Everybody Is Here announcement for Smash Ultimate and how the excitement reverberated around the internet. I grew up playing Melee with my cousins, and ever since then I've just been in love with the franchise. The moment I first got my hands on this game, it was immediately apparent just how much love Sakurai and his team put into this game. There is so much content packed into this experience. This is bar none the best roster any fighting game has ever had, and quite frankly, it's hard to believe they have matchups like Cloud, Snake, and Bayonetta fighting Mario in a Nintendo game. On top of that, the engine upgrades from Smash 4 mean the combat is faster and more fluid than ever. Whether it's frantic free-for-alls or competitive 1v1s, there isn't a fighting game I enjoy more than Smash Ultimate. Persona 5 is just oozing with style and polish from the moment you start up the game. I personally didn't play The Sims growing up, so I really didn't see myself liking the social simulator aspects of the game the way I did. But boy was I wrong. Persona 5 manages to find the perfect balance between its social sim portion of the game and its more traditional RPG dungeons. The story is full of twists and turns, and its focus on how adults in positions of power become corrupt is very engaging. Even though you are a high school student, Persona 5 really does not back away from heavy subjects, very heavy subjects. I was honestly surprised where the game was willing to go at times. The battle system was amazing, and the snappy battle animations and dungeon exploration was quite stunning to behold with this game's beautiful art style. It also paired perfectly with this game's acid jazz soundtrack. I was genuinely sad when my time with this game and at Shujin Academy was over. Anybody who knows me knew that Witcher 3 Wild Hunt was going to be my #1 spot on this list, and I mean, this is not only my favorite game of this generation, but it is my favorite game of all time. If somebody asked me if you could only have one more game for the rest of your life, what would it be? I would pick this game without a second thought. The way that everything is so carefully crafted and the way the game is structured have made this the gold standard for open world games, and no game to this date has surpassed it. I mean, the game's side quests are more engrossing than most other games' main stories, and I think that really just says everything that needs to be said. The gritty setting feels lived in, and you get to see how the characters throughout the game have been shaped by this world. Every time I revisit The Witcher 3, I am tempted to play the game over from start to finish. Even just recording 5 minutes of footage for this video made me want to dive all the way back in head first. And lastly, I became so invested in this world and its characters that I started to read the novels, and I never read books. So that just shows you how much I love this game and how much it means to me. Well, there you guys have it. Those are my favorite games from the last 7 years or so. Obviously, this list is just my opinion, and it's incredibly subjective, but that's what makes these lists fun. I decided not to do any honorable mentions or anything like that because, frankly, it would have included too many games, and I didn't want to exclude anything, so all in all, this generation was great and really had a ton of great games, and we can only hope that the next generation brings us the same. But now I want to know what you guys think. Do you guys disagree with my list? If so, what are your top 5 games of this generation, and what was your favorite console of this generation? Let me know the answer to all those questions down in the comments below. Once again, if you do like this video, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Also hit that bell icon so you can get notifications. I'm going to keep on bringing you guys more movies, TV, video game, and anime content. Check out the links in the description of my Twitch and my Twitter account. And until the next time, this is Master Menard, signing off.
Now look at the top, I'm going crazy, who wearing the crown? Scootly bop, doodly bolly doodly down.